June was celebrated as Pride Month for the LGBT plus community. This topic is very timely. So what is SOGIESC bill? SOGIESC stands for Sexual Orientation, Gender Identity, Gender Expression, or Sex Characteristics. It is also known as Anti-Discrimination Bill, which aims to set into laws measures to prevent various economic and public accommodation-related acts of discrimination against people based on their sexual orientation, gender identity, or expression. So that is about what is this SOGIESC bill. So let us know more about the subject matter according to available sources from the internet. So we have to gather some news from the internet. On CNN, May 24, 2023, the House Committee on Women and Gender Equality has approved the Sexual Orientation, Gender Identity, Gender Expression, or Sex Characteristics SOGIESC bill. The panel's approval was confirmed by Gabriela Party List Representative Arlen Broses on Tuesday after the committee deliberated on the Technical Working Group report. Another source is the Philippine Star dated May 24, 2023. Manila, Philippines. A measure meant to prohibit discrimination on the basis of the person's sexual orientation, gender identity, gender expression, or sex characteristics, or SOGIESC, has hurdled the House Committee on Women and Gender Sexuality. The bill, which will have to go through debate in plenary, explicitly states that denying someone the license to marry is not a discriminatory act. Another one is June 23, bago lang, no? 2023, Manila, Philippines. Senate Majority Leader Joel Villanueva sees no urgency in passing a proposed measure penalizing discrimination based on sexual orientation, gender identity, and expression, or SOGI. Ms. Tony G., an LGBT plus activist of Zamboanga City, specified some implications of the SOGI to the LGBT plus Filipinos. 1. Creating an inclusive culture that respects diversity and human rights. 2. Prevention measure. SOGI-based discrimination will be treated as a crime. 3. An inclusive business climate. Political participation of LGBT in governance. So what now? Unsa karon? No, if you can see, katong murag na may nag-hype, no, or na ay coverage dito tong incident ni certain aura, no, so it is really in the widespread of the media. But for me, as a mother, as an ordinary person, as a community leader, advocates, no, it is important for the LGBT plus community to consider, no, in the public perception, there seems to be impatience on your part for the passage of this bill. But I would like to grant you that if you remember the long years of journey before the Convention for the Elimination against Discrimination against Women was passed, it took time. Another is, if you remember the Reproductive Health Bill, it also took time. Another one is the Maternity Protection Law that has been ratified. ILO Convention on Maternity Protection also took time. So we should be able to, how do you call that? No, to be patient and to engage the public in this advocacy with information education campaign. And for me, what I can say is that it should start from the family, because the acceptance, no, just like there are social acceptability before we engage the church, before we engage the legislators, is really the family. I can take it from my experience. I have also some limitations or even some certain violations, no, because of limited information of understanding on the physiology, biology, psychology, and even the emotional aspects involving our LGBT communities, no? And I can say that from my brothers and sisters, nephews and nieces, and even some relatives, no, that I have some even indifference to them at a younger age because I was not really properly educated. But if the family understands and support any member of the SOGI group or the LGBT plus group, then they have this inner strength to be able to really understand themselves, because discrimination happens, or even abuses, no, especially for children, young children. When these abuses happens at a young age, it really affects the soul of the person and has a long-term effect. That's why if the family can secure the children and their homes safely from any sexual abuse or even some other forms of psychological abuse, then for me, that is the beginning of the journey, because it will take time. Because for me, I can observe that there was even one sibling who has tendency, he likes to dance or wear ladies' dresses, but he was really punished, no? And so he has to pretend that he is really a macho person. But that is only showing his feminine side of that, ano. But even in the family, it was discriminated, and there were even some family members who are gay that has to keep it. We call that the closet queen, no? They have to pretend that they're strong, they're disciplinarians, because the family does not accept them. And it took time, even I think until the moment of his death, he did not really declare that he was gay, no, for that particular relative of ours. And what I can say is that there are also some, I know that they are gay, and because the parents impose them, they pretend to be masculine, to have more children, but they are also having a dual life. So if the family can accept them, respect them as a soul, because in the eyes of God, we are one. We are one with God. And as a soul, there is no gender, because we are the being of light. As long as we are the being of light, of divine light, divine love, divine intelligence, no matter how is our sexual orientation, gender expressions or characteristics, then the family can have that strong foundation. But it took, no, maybe for me even, I would say that it will not happen in my lifetime. But as an advocate for change, an advocate for equality, this is something that we have to do. For me, I would really appreciate, no, as a citizen, as a mother, if the parents of the SOGI and advocates will rally behind them for their fight for this bill. Because when the family rally behind, then it brings community engagement, community involvement, then it will also awaken. No, because there are times that it is hidden beyond the religious practice of this discrimination. But if each one of us, regardless of our religion, will realize that we are soul, we all belong to God, no matter what is our sexual orientation or gender expression or characteristics, then it brings forth that acceptability of this struggle of this sector. So we really have to continue to engage, and also to be able to engage more. So before I'll proceed, no, please like and share if you think that this episode can help someone. I also encourage you to comment down below your point of view of this episode, ha? Sige, bitaw. For me, I do not really have the expertise and even the proper background about this. No, I'm also learning, but I think when there is a clamor from the ground, from this affected sector, then we have to continue to discuss, engage, even in the household, family level, even in relatives, no? Even in church. Usually in the church there would be very interesting engagement, but our common ground is that we are all children of God. And then for me, really is respect, no, mutual respect. And if we love that person, for me, man, good, just like if you can remember that this LGBT group, they really suffer discrimination from the family. That's why they really have to work hard economically. They can provide, no, to have them a seat ba, a proper seat. I would describe it in the dining table of the family. So they are lesser. They are, in most that I know, no, from my own experience, they are treated lesser persons, even from their own siblings. They are discriminated, even from their parents. They are discriminated, and then also, so what they do is that they provide the physical, emotional, and financial effort to have the respect of the family, which should not be the case, because every child is equal. Every child is equal in the eyes of the parents, because they did not ask for it. Whatever their sexual orientation, gender expression, they did not ask for it. It is in this lifetime that they happen to be such. And then the caring community, the caring, the first, the basic foundation of a society is the family. So I think even in this bill, the parents should be penalized. If I were, you will ask me, the discrimination that comes from the parents and the guardians and the duty bearers that cares for this group should come first. No, this is my this is my personal idea, that the criminalization of the act should come even in the time that they were young. There are already several abuses that has happened to them. So what I can say is that from my experience, discrimination sometimes starts or even happens in the family and the extended family. So love and respect. So any comments, suggestions, reaction about this topic? Ay, oo. So katong reproductive health bill, no? Oh yes, it's really a journey. And I think there was really bravery, no, to engage the Catholic Church during the time, because they were opposed to it, but there were also strong women who said that it is about their body, it's about their health, it's about their welfare, and even the welfare of the children. So the church, man, good, is also a ano ba, balancing factor, no, in our community, just like the schools, there are institutions. So we really just have to continue to engage them in dialogue, and also our advocacy, and then so that they will also be able to understand, no, the aspect, and they also give us the spiritual side of this aspect, because sometimes it's more of the more advocacy, no, but we have also to realize our connection and the implications of any action that we do. So they are also the ano, just like the academe, the media, the schools, and also the church, regardless of religion. They balance our society, because we cannot also move independently with our advocacy because we just feel strongly about it, no, because there are consequences that will also happen. I really, my prayer is that there are certain persons, that should belong to the LGBT plus, but they are hiding, and they have really certain traumas in life, that whether they're accepted or not, and they are really good, no. I met them, and I happen to know that they are in this category, but they try to project that they are masculine. So we really have to continue, no, because if they can also sense that they are accepted and they are respected, I think fear will be overcome. Fear will be hurdled, and that barriers will connect us as persons. So that's also my because sometimes there are cases of suicide, depression, because of this aspect, no, because their psychology. I said I'm not an expert about that, but when you try to just to go over, no, the turn of events, that they have a special needs, their physiology, their psychology, their emotions, so there must be a proper support system. And I also met some members that belongs to the LGBT, and they have really also opted for the spiritual path, where they can transcend from their situations, from discriminations, and then they would be of greater service, and their creativity was not more of the sexual aspect or expressions, but on the greater service. And I'm really amazed. No, there should be a balance about it. I will pray, no, and I also pray that you will have unity, because I've also observed that there are certain differing views, differing stance, no, but if it cut across with mutual respect, love, and acceptance for each group, then the public, us, and even the community can see your sense of unity, oneness, then we can move together, especially on really addressing very specific issues on discrimination. We really have to be observant ba, because the new generation now is crossing the line of their sexual orientation and gender expression, and we as grandparents should be aware of that. How are we going to give them that emotional support, that psychological support, that spiritual guidance for them, that when everything is seems to be overwhelming, that they can seek refuge, no, to God and pray when there are already certain crises that's happening to them, and to have greater control on their body. And then also, of course, the HIV, the sexually transmitted disease, these are the physical consequences, no, if they are not guided properly, no. So and it will affect their future and even the economic side of family. I would like to share, no, when we were in 1989 until 1992, when the law of the Bible for the urban poor, the Urban Development and Housing Act, we really made it until the community level, within the reach of PCUP. The House bill and the Senate bill and the discussion, and really for that time, and even the church, all the ideological lines, no, we were able to gather together, because there is a social justice legislation. UDHA is a social justice legislation. So on the common ground on social justice, we gathered, know how to do it. And there was a massive education and information campaign. And we use the channel. If they are in the media, they use the media platform. If they are in the schools, they use the schools. If they are in the church platform. If we are in the community, we use the NGO platform. So that is how we did it from 1989 until 1992. So if you can remember, it took a while, no? But before that, even in 1986, the journey under the urban land reform and initiated by Ateneo also, and other groups started during that time. So it took them a long time, no, for that social justice legislation. How much more for this discrimination? So we really have to, no, for those proponents here, please keep in touch, no, of the different networks that you have, for have an IEC, just a discussion about this. And I know that the LGBT plus group has a large network. They are articulate, no, spokesperson. So you can even use the other platforms, no, to have this engagement, diba? Because the lolas and the oldie goldies has to be educated for us, no? Because as of now, many of the young ones are under the care of grandparents who have the orientation which is medyo needs more education and enlightenment. No, so our recommendations is that let us create continuing dialogue at all level, and no, to all, and dialogue with all for the SOGI bill, SOGIESC bill, because the more that we engage, the more that we share, the more that we would also bring the light, because this bill does not only comes na for whims and caprice, no, it really comes because we want to bring light to everyone. So that ends our Ask Mami Lou episode 7, the role of family to the success of SOGIESC bill. Let us create a safe space for everybody with love, respect, and understanding.